Hello and welcome to Bounding into Comics. My name is John Trent. I'm the founder and editor-in-chief at Bounding into Comics. I'm joined by my co-host Spencer Baculi, our associate editor, and Donald Edmonds. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing well. Enjoying our Twitter engagements this evening.
Quite busy today.
Yeah, we are the center of of some Twitter stuff.
We're a main character.
Yeah. But that's as much as we're going to talk about that. Right now. This is still our WandaVision stream. We just wrapped up watching episode 3. I forget what the title is.
Episode 3.
It's like Now in Color, I think.
Yeah,
is
I think
the
it's
title.
something like that. I almost want to say Now in Control, but that's wrong.
Yeah, I think it's Now in Color. Yeah, they added titles now. They didn't have them I don't think they had them last week, but there's titles now. And the episode 3 is, I think it's Now in Color.
Yes, you are correct.
So we got a bunch of folks joining us in the chat. Lofter Genie King of Inferno is here. Tahila, Alexander Vidakovich, the White Mat Studio. Welcome to our world, the White Mat Studio. Welcome to our world.
We have membership jackets.
yeah. So what did you guys think of WandaVision episode 3?
I definitely liked it. I definitely liked it more than the other two. There was still some very wacky stuff that didn't feel right, but overall I thought it was a pretty interesting. I mean, it got the story moving. I
guess a little bit. I feel like I don't know if it really got the story moving, but we got more.
We got the kids. That's going to be a big chunk of it.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows how much they are in the story, though. I feel like we just got more.
Yeah, if they're following the comics or taking inspiration, they're going to be super huge.
I just feel like they got more. We just got bigger sections of like the mystery pieces, but it was still mystery pieces.
Yeah, but those mystery pieces are pushing the story along because it's like, well, what's going on? Now I want to know more. And it's slowly going, oh, now the kids are here. And oh, now Sword is here. And oh, now Wanda's actually turning out to be more of a villain than a protagonist, like she kind of seemed in the beginning.
Yes. That's how I felt, but I don't think...
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Kind of safe in that respect. It got a little darker for me. Because of her being like exposed as like she's hiding some crazy shit. But yeah, other than that, it's just, and the humor didn't land. Like I know I like the other
comedy
two.
Was terrible.
Yeah, the other two episodes I liked
the comedy
because it's so
the comedy.
Corny. This one was just not hitting.
You know what felt really weird to me was that they filmed it like a normal modern day television show and still tried to make the jokes and the laugh tracks work like an old school show. The other two episodes kind of filmed it more like old sitcoms. You know what I mean?
So yeah. I do know that
so maybe that's why
they did. I mean, I read that if you read the article on Tiana Paris confirming when this show takes place in the MCU timeline, she says she was actually sat in the live crowd for that first episode. So they said they had a live crowd. So I don't know if it was actually a laugh track. They probably just told them all to laugh, to like fake laugh.
Either way, it doesn't work when you shoot it like that. Like a laugh track first off, laugh tracks barely work, but then they only work on the 3-camera sitcom normal type of stage. Oh gosh.
Have you seen the cuts where they take the laugh tracks out?
Dude, it's so bad when they do. Yeah. Should I play an Xbox or a PlayStation?
Yeah, I didn't laugh a single time in this episode. They try to so I was explaining to my sister-in-law earlier, literally right after I watched it, and I was like, I felt like the show was broken into thirds. So like the first two shows, it was the halves. You had the punny humor in the first half, and then you had the situational humor in the second half. This one had the punny bad humor in the first third, and then you had the in the middle third you had the situational humor with like the pregnancy and all that stuff that was going on with that, and her pregnancy like happening in a single day.
Yeah,
that should be a lot funnier, and it wasn't.
I don't know. I don't know if the. Yeah, I guess it should be funnier. I thought it was interesting because it's like, oh, she's clear, like something's clearly going on here, but I never thought it was funny.
I don't know. The Stork stuff was weird.
I didn't like any of that.
I didn't like that.
Any of that.
They were trying to get a laugh out of that.
Yeah,
well, they were just trying to. It was trying to be a very 70s wacky situational humor thing. It just, I think we've all kind of grown past it. I don't know. It just didn't work.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then the third part was where you actually got some like the like horror vibes coming in, and like something sinister is going on, and like it seems to be centering around Wanda, but we still have no idea like what's going on at all. No, we still don't have any kind. What is the word I'm looking for? Usually you get oh my gosh, I can't
a hint.
The word. No, you usually like obviously Star Wars has the opening scroll that's called something. There's like a literary word for it. I can't think of it right now.
Not the cold open.
But like it gives you like an idea of like what the story is.
Oh, the
like,
prologue.
It's not. Yeah, there's a.
It's not a prologue. There is a word for it.
Yeah, I can't think of it right now. Exposition. Thank you, YouTube. That's it. Thank you. Yes, exposition.
Yes, we are writers for Bounding into Comics, and
I would have figured it out.
News source.
But yeah, usually you have some exposition. We don't have any of that. There's nothing to really go on. You're just kind of thrown in, and we're just being pulled by the seat of our pants with the show. But yeah, I didn't find any of the humor funny. The only interesting parts was literally like the last 5 minutes, I guess, of the show.
Is that So the question is it going to be, because apparently we're going to get at some point the Family Ties episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's next week.
We saw clips of it, and then eventually the
Family Ties is going to be the 80s, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's next week.
So are they going to keep trying to get laughs out of us?
I would assume so.
Just going to get, because from what I understand, from what I'm getting, in terms of the tone of the show, the tone is getting darker. Because you had more.
Yes, I guess.
I noticed more breaks in the camera angle and the camera shots, indicating like
that's what I'm saying.
There's some breaks in character. There's some breaks in the narrative that she's trying to create within this world.
Yeah, I like that. A lot of these
characters are moving off from. So the first one to move off was Vision, when he says he's noticing inconsistencies.
See, that was a pretty creepy moment where it just like snaps
and then
back.
She rewinds it. And
she doesn't even rewind. I thought that's not the one where she rewinds. I thought that one just snaps back. Like it just like retakes the scene. And I thought that scene, that one is creepier.
But then you notice all these other inconsistencies with the characters in the show. Like the dude was what was that dude doing? He was cutting the cement.
Yeah, with the bush.
But I mean, there's clearly dude, and he's like kept going. I mean, clearly something's wrong with all of them. Everybody knows something's going on.
I need to go back to the last episode and find out if there was actually a hedge in that area where he was cutting.
I don't think that really matters though, because all the houses keep changing. They keep changing it. Like,
yeah, they had a different car in this episode as well, because they're moving forward in time. But yeah, I don't think that's going to tell you anything. What was interesting is it does seem like the people who are there know that they're there, whereas like the first two episodes weren't like that at all. They were unaware of what was happening. But now we have Agnes and the next door neighbor whose name I can't remember.
I feel like they were acutely aware, but now it's just starting to, or no, maybe they weren't. Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. Herb.
I don't feel like they were. Like, because you had the, like, Dottie might have been aware because of the radio, and then maybe Agnes a little bit.
Yeah,
but
only Agnes is the only really one I would have said had any.
Yeah, Agnes is the one that's
not any of the other characters.
Yeah, she knows more than she lets on.
Right. I mean, you got that from like the first episode where she shows up and is trying to butt in to like what's going on.
Yeah.
And you know that from the trailer too, where she tells Vision that you're dead. Ha ha ha.
You know what I noticed too? There was a lot of stuff in the trailers, especially for this episode, that wasn't in this episode.
Like what?
Like them dancing, her like at the stairwell, like hearing something, and then she, this one in particular where Monica Rambeau's character comes up to the doorstep and she says, like, I don't know who I am or what I'm doing here.
Right, that's true. Yeah, with
that one's gone completely.
And
the one where it shows her being thrown out of the city.
That happened.
Remember that clip?
That happened.
Yeah, we saw that.
Well, it doesn't show her like her body being thrown across
just
the
landscape.
Oh yeah,
a little bit, yeah.
It's just out the hole,
out of the bubble.
Yeah, they just cut that. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know if that was like, if those were filmed just for the commercials, or was that cut on the cutting room floor?
Or does it show up later?
Yeah, it could show up later. It's possible.
Oh, as a flashback?
Mm-hmm. Or like when she starts finally like maybe Vision starts piecing everything together, and you see. Or
maybe she's doing exposition for Sword.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you get it from like Geraldine's point of view later on, or something like that too. She's like telling the story or something. I thought that was weird. So that was one thing that I thought was weird.
That'd be that's a cool idea.
She's got the sword necklace on, and then she is like the military guys were like literally like putting their guns on her. Like they didn't know that she was one of them. Did you guys notice that?
I didn't notice
when,
that.
The guys showed up in the Humvees. They had their guns like trained on her.
Oh wow! I thought they were. Yeah. See, I thought that was Sword rescuing her. And that made me think that, like, Wanda's clearly messed with this town, and Sword is trying to obviously break down the bubble. But maybe that's not what's happening. Maybe somebody really is doing this to Wanda now.
Hydra.
Oh, obviously,
the commercial was Hydra.
Last week was Hydra too.
Last week was Hydra too, and then we had Stark as the first one.
Toaster.
So we got Hydra twice in a row. Because it was like Strucker, right? And
his watch.
And then we had Hydra.
And the Hydra bubble bath.
No, my mic. I've always had the floating mic.
Yeah.
YouTube me. I think Don has as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you always had that too.
Mine is the one on the table that I always knock over.
Yeah. But yeah, so it could be like maybe she's being manipulated by Hydra. What was interesting is like, I don't know if you noticed, but like once the Humvees pulled up, where she came out of, there was like lights and there was like that distortion. So like it was it was like they were actually inhabiting a physical location in the MCU world. So it's not like she had like created a whole like pocket universe or
Westview looked run down.
Yeah, Westview looked like a town
wasted.
That had died in the 50s.
Yeah, like a ghost town, you know.
When she falls out, when you see like the exit with the
real Westview.
Okay.
Because there's also a lot of like classic signs there that are like Cub Scout meeting grounds, and they're all rusted out and stuff.
So to me, that reminds me of that horrible Hydra Captain America story. Where they have that like pocket dimension where all the prisoners are kept.
Yeah. What story
is it is.
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah, so so that was kind of weird. That was interesting that it was like an actual physical location with like that dimension or whatever that stuff was, the light like
it kind of reminded me of like the Wakanda bubble.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a complete facade on the outside, but on the inside, it's like
something's going on. Yeah,
world she has created for herself.
If she's created a world,
I mean, if it's her, yeah.
It seems like it's her though.
It seems like it's her based on the fact she like sent Geraldine out. Like the implication is that she removed Geraldine. She's the one who commanded Vision to save the guy in the first episode. But then you also have the whole like second episode where like I do think that was Jimmy Woo. I think
on
you're
the
right
radio.
On once I listen to it again, it definitely sounds like his voice now.
Sounds like him.
Where she's just like, "What's going on? Like, what happened? Who did this to you, Wanda?" She and she's kind of just like, huh? Like confused on that too. And then she's like also confused, like why her pregnancy is happening in a single day. So she's almost got like a split personality kind of, because she's like, I got rid of her and the eagle stare. And then
it's more like it feels like somebody is manipulating her to create that happy place, but that's what she wants. So if something tries to disrupt it, she just gets rid of it and like doesn't even give it a second thought.
Right. It's like an instinct. Because like what was really interesting is like Geraldine breaks character for that, just like that one sentence about Pietro and Ultron, and then she's back to normal. At least it was to me. I didn't think she was faking that. She was just like, "What are you talking about?" I said he was a great guy. I said he was like a great guy or whatever she said.
Yeah.
So.
So you think Wanda actually heard that, and that's not what Geraldine said?
No. I think Geraldine said that, but as soon as she said that, she reverted back to her in universe character.
Right. Yeah.
Just like how Vision how Wanda commanded Vision to break character when the guy was dying.
To like go through his throat and pull it out.
Yeah. But then that was what was interesting about that is like you have these people in character, but then outside the house, obviously Agnes and Herb were also out of character, and trying to like let Vision know that like something weird is like trying to tell him what was going on without telling him.
Yeah, right. That would make sense with why he's like cutting through the wall and he's like, "You all right there?" And he's like, "Totally good," and like just keeps going.
Yeah, he was like,
what was it that they said to him? Because I can't remember.
To who?
Write it down. It was like 12 o'clock in the morning when I saw it. They were trying to tell him something, but it was just a bunch of stuttering, trying to get out.
Oh, they're trying to tell him that what all the people were, who they were, or like why, like all the people here are. And then it's like, we're not going to tell you. And Agnes is like, don't say anything, Herb. And then Herb goes back to like completely ignoring Vision. And he continues like trimming the hedges or whatever he was doing, yard work. So
that's weird. It's
we did find out that Dottie is married to the guy with the mustache.
Yeah, that surprised me. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, and his mustache. I don't think so.
I don't know. She mentioned it briefly in an episode, or like maybe he said her name.
If she did, if they did, I'll admit I totally missed it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I missed it too if they did. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I think that might have been the funniest part of the show. Is that
it was like
he was just like,
does this lipstick make me look fat? And then the lights go out. Like,
the earrings, yeah.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah. Just like looking right at the camera.
I laughed at that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably really like the funniest thing. But yeah, the pregnancy stuff was just, it didn't work for me at all. The Stork was just.
Did your wife watch it too?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Literal same thought I was having. In my head, I was like,
I
wonder if John asked Kate, because this is like not realistic at all. It's so unrealistic, it's breaking it for me.
Well, having said that, it's a pregnancy with
magic
span of 2 hours or like 1.5 hour.
Break one sweat though.
She made a crack about like that's totally how it happened for me. Which was funnier than everything in the show.
Hey, recovery.
Like the wacky.
Hey, what's up?
And woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, I
didn't like that.
I wanted to ask you about the Stork CGI because I thought it looked like trash, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't like the budget going to that.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like usually I'm just like, oh, okay, but it didn't even like when it was walking on the carpet, it didn't look like it was actually on the carpet. It was like almost like hovering above it a little bit.
The only time it looked remotely good was when it was like biting at her pants, but I'm pretty sure that was like just a prop head or like a prop
or when they had it in the painting.
Right.
It was like when it was just stationary.
Stationary
when
thing.
It's a static object.
But
it didn't look good. It didn't look good. Like,
it's like part of me is like, why don't they utilize some of the artists that are at Pixar?
Or even at Lucasfilm, dude. The Lucasfilm people are like absolutely like those concept artists are really good. And they have good concept artists at Marvel too. We've seen the Marvel concept artists.
Infinity War too.
CG people,
CG people are pretty good too. Rocket always looks really good.
Yeah.
But these are the same guys who did the Black Panther.
I don't think they're the same. I'm sure that they didn't go all out the same way they did for Infinity War.
Man, if they've got a $140 million budget or whatever.
No, 200.
200, yeah, whatever it is, something insane.
Double of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. So.
That's still 116 million less than Infinity War.
Yeah, Infinity
a lot.
It's still a lot, but I'm saying, like
Infinity War has Thanos in like every a ton of scenes.
Right, but then you have all that time to hire these studios and have each individual person working on one little thing all the time. So, but without that 116 million, we're skipping out on the Stork. Don't know why you don't just cut the Stork.
Yeah, I did like this. I don't know if they screen tested that, but it's not
like I thought the concept was better right before the Stork, where like every time she had a contraction, she would like change her outfit or blow open a door. I was like, oh, that's a very classic sitcom-y.
I wasn't sure if it was her doing it or the kid doing it.
Because
that would have been funny too.
Yeah, exactly. That would be funny too. Yeah, I would have liked that. I didn't even think about that.
A little bit. I thought that would have like if they had made that reveal, it'd been like, oh, it's the kid doing it because the kid's the kid's the one who's trying to get their head out when she's contracting.
Mm-hmm.
So like the kid's going through that too. So they're the ones who were doing that, and it's just like, oh, they're like, and it would make sense why they would be changing her coats all the time because they're just adapting to like different atmosphere. So it's like, oh, it's like it's raining. The water broke raining was probably like the most on point.
I liked that.
Yeah, and then but I don't know. They said like the power went out, but their lights were still on. It looked like too. I was just like, what?
I think that was more of the set because it was still daytime.
Yeah, I guess.
And they had, I mean, you saw on the other side they had the big glass windows looking in.
Which he was like literally walking in his robot form.
I know. I
was like, okay.
I hate when they do that in comic book stuff. Like take off your mask or show your true form when like they're right. Like people are on the other side of the door.
Yeah.
Like chill out.
I think the reason why the Stork thing failed was because I also think that the people like Geraldine would have just like gone with it. Because she would have just like adapted it as like part of the narrative that was being built for her.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, oh, you're pregnant, and it's like, oh, that's
she
great.
Rolls with it. And even after that, when like Wanda's giving birth and everything is freaking out, she's like, I'm sure there's an explanation, so let's just do this.
Right.
And like, so she does not care.
Right. So she was just like, she was totally like bought into the narrative, even though like the world around her was freaking out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that might have been why the comedy didn't work for that either, because like the character wasn't like Geraldine's character wasn't reacting to like some of that stuff. And I guess maybe they were trying to go for that comedy, like it's so crazy and this person is oblivious to it. But I don't know, it didn't work for me.
It didn't. So. It's just like that kind of thing. Like I feel like if I'm sitting that close to a bird while it's walking around me, even if I don't, I just feel like I would know something is there.
You would notice it biting your pant leg and
yeah.
pulling on it. Like you would notice that. Like if like someone's pulling at your pant leg, you notice that. Like,
or you would also recognize that the weird warbling sound came from like right behind you and not down the hall in the kitchen where the ice maker is.
And you would notice if someone's pregnant, even if they were holding a bowl of fruit in front of their belly.
Yeah.
For a second, if she'd have left right after that, it might have worked. But then, the rest of the time, I was like, it's very obvious you are quite far along.
I'm thinking of the stork thing when it's biting her leg. Like, it would have been hilarious if like she looked down and been like, "Oh, when did you get a stork as a pet?"
Right,
and then, like
just
started
like
petting it and being like,
yeah.
like that would have been like hilarious. I don't know. I feel like that would have been funny. Like started petting the stork and thinking it was a pet.
On set too.
I want to, get a real stork on set.
Can they train storks? I don't know. I guess you can train. You can train lions, anything. So you can train anything, right?
You can. I'm sure you can train anything.
You just have to have that disclaimer at the end of the episode: no animals were harmed during the production of this film.
That's right. I know.
Copy
You can
paste.
probably train storks because my sister-in-law literally was a bird keeper at the National Zoo, and they train cranes. So I would assume training a stork isn't that more difficult. Like they literally have the cranes follow them around and do tricks and stuff. Like at the National Zoo, they like you can go to the zoo in DC. And they do like a show or whatever. Like I don't want to call it a show, but like a demonstration,
right? Yeah,
of the crane or whatever. So yeah, they could have like that would have just been a lot better if it was something like that too.
1000%, I agree.
But yeah, there's a reason why the Brady Bunch isn't on TV anymore.
It was a movie, by the way.
What was the Brady Bunch? Was a movie?
Brady Bunch movie.
Yeah, did they do a remake of it? I think
it was both.
It was 1990.
No, the Brady Bunch was a TV show.
Or 8?
They were like Brady Bunch movies, but Brady Bunch was a TV show.
Yeah, but the Brady Bunch movie was kind of the Spaceballs of Brady Bunch reboots.
Yeah, I know they did a 1995 movie.
Yeah, that's the one.
It was like a parody of it. I think
it's a very parody. Yeah.
But it was a sitcom in like that ran from 1969 to 1974.
Yeah, it started out as a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why those shows aren't on air anymore, and that style of comedy isn't on anymore. I think for the most part, like I don't know, dude. Like pun humor, I don't know. I'm not. I just don't feel it. It's like it's.
Well, you're
corny.
a father now, so you'll have to feel it at some point.
Raquel Briggs is saying this debate ages everyone. I think watching the show ages. Oh, talking about Brady Bunch. Okay, I totally misinterpreted your comment at first. I was like, oh, us talking is like you're aging like 20 years, but I think you're talking about like we're talking about these old.
We're talking about the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Having said that, I was not around during the actual airing of the Brady Bunch, so.
No, I don't think any of us were.
Yeah,
because I think you're the oldest.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah, and even I was.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, we're at 20 minutes now, so we're almost like we've almost been talking about the show as long as the show was.
As the episode was.
I just so I'll just give a brief recap for those who are first joining us. See Drew's here in the chat now. The first third of the episode did nothing for me. The pun humor is like it doesn't work for me. I don't find it interesting. If you like punny humor, I think you might enjoy that part of the show. That doesn't work for me. The middle portion of the show where you have a lot of like situational humor with the pregnancy jokes and Wanda's like powers going crazy. It still didn't. It wasn't as good as the situational humor of the first episode with the dinner party, or even the second episode with the magic show.
I thought
that situational humor did it way better than this one.
I love, like in comparison, the stage show one, that one's really good.
I liked the dinner party one was probably my favorite of the situational humor that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Obviously the stage show has the costume that we all like.
Well, yes.
So,
but I also just like Wanda. I also just like Wanda trying to like make up an excuse for everything that's happening.
Yeah. There's the one joke, and it's with the guy who's like Dottie's husband with the mustache. He's like, that was my like grandma's.
Oh yeah, that was my grandma's piano.
She turned it into a piece of cardboard.
Just like walks off with it.
He has the best lines out of all the one-liners.
Yeah,
he really does. I like him.
Yeah. So, and I love that he's got like he hasn't changed his huge mustache yet either.
No.
It's
a timeless look.
Yeah. And then so then the third part we actually kind of get into like the strangeness of the show. You get these two twins that are born, Tommy and Billy, which I believe those are the original names of Wanda's kids when you're dealing with Mephisto.
Or in general, that's just her kids.
I believe she calls them Thomas and William in the comic.
Well, that's She calls them Billy and Tommy.
Yeah,
they just because they don't really know her when they come to life. Their real name, like those are their given names, are Thomas and William.
So
she always calls them Tommy and Billy.
So you have that Mephisto connection there, which calls back to the Easter egg from the second episode where Agnes says, "The devil's in the details."
No, Dottie says that to Agnes.
No, I thought Agnes says that.
Yeah, Agnes said.
Dottie says it to Agnes.
Dottie's saying it, and then Agnes saying.
Agnes says, "Yeah, more than just
more than you know." Okay, yeah, more. Okay, yeah. Sorry, yeah, that's okay. So there's some cool stuff there. I mean, so there is some like interesting stuff. Like, but you have to know the comic book background to like even understand that stuff. So I see that Raquel is asking, should I watch this thing? It looks weird, like Bizarre World, Bewitched, No More Regurgitated Concepts. Ugh. I don't
think it's a regurgitated concept.
It is,
no, it's
taking from concepts. But
yeah, it's blending stuff, but
it's definitely its own thing. I think I don't think anything is doing it, but like it's taking like Bewitched and Brady Bunch and what was the other one? Dick Van Dyke Show.
And then mixing in Twilight Zone and Outer Limits stuff.
There's a little bit of Twilight Zone going on. Although Twilight Zone, you have a guy who literally tells you like about the story beforehand.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm all right with that, not knowing the story though. Like, I'm okay with letting the mystery build.
Oh, that's the thing. You know the comic books. John knows the comics. I know the comic books, and Drew knows the comic books. But even without the comics, I literally watched this with my dad, who does not read comic books, doesn't know anything about them, only watches the Marvel movies, and he still is totally in.
Well, here's the
thing.
Here's the
my
thing.
girlfriend fell asleep.
Here's the thing.
Maybe that has more to do with the company. No, I'm kidding.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Here's the thing though, and I kind of wanted to point this out for Raquel because I kind of know her tastes now that she and I have been friends for a long time, and Raquel, I can honestly say for like the average viewer, if you haven't spent a whole lot of time invested like in the MCU, like if you haven't seen a whole lot of the movies or read the comic books, you're going to be behind the curve somewhat. And then the biggest complaint that I've heard from just, average viewers that have not really had a whole lot of interaction with Marvel properties, when they come in and watch this, it's confusing. I've heard the word confusing tossed around because,
Yes.
Well, are you saying these people have never watched anything Marvel?
Yeah, if you could,
I feel confused.
But I mean, that's kind of unfair. This show is supposed to be. Everybody knows you kind of need to know the MCU to go into the show.
Well, yeah, I think so. But people that just get Disney Plus, if it's plastered on the screen and they just click on it and start watching it, because there are average viewers out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That'll do that. The average person is going to be confused. Heck, for like just a casual Marvel fan, you're still confused Don's
I think it's definitely confusing because you have in the this episode here, it's like Scarlet Witch is the one who's kind of like controlling everything. We got a little bit of that the last episode, but in the last episode, you also had like, she's like, why is this person calling me on the radio? Like, what's going on? And she was kind of like confused about her character was like confused about what's going on.
But I mean, you had that same confusion here too with the Ultron thing. It's anytime something breaks this illusion, she starts losing it herself. Just like when the woman was yelling, stop it, that hit something that, like, she knows that her powers were doing something to make this world happen. So when she hears the stop it, she goes, all right, like, Vision, just end this. Like just, get him out of here. Mm-hmm. And so she is getting freaked out by anything that breaks her perfect narrative or reminds her that this is fake.
Yeah.
Right. When we got the beekeeper at 2, and she was like, no, and then we got the rewind.
Yeah.
That was cool, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is for somebody that grew up on seeing some of those like older sitcoms and stuff because they were in reruns when I was a kid.
Yeah, same.
I don't mind. I don't mind the homage to them so much as the fact that in some spots it's poorly executed because it's nowhere near. Yeah, it's nowhere near what those other shows were. And listen, I appreciate the fact that they had a creative consultation with Dick Van Dyke on how to work a studio audience because they actually had a studio audience.
Yeah, John said that. I just learned that.
And I appreciate details like that. I mean, I give them all the credit in the world for trying to do that, but there's just the execution is off in what they're trying to bring forward in a way that they're doing some of these things, and I understand.
Can you give an example?
Well, I mean, just when they were doing the black and white stuff in the first episode, John, it felt off when they were kind of trying to do the Bewitched.
I didn't think it felt off.
What do you mean the black and white stuff?
When they were trying to do like the Bewitched thing in the first
second episode.
Or was it the second episode?
One? The second one was Bewitched, I think. And the first one
was more Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah, okay. Dick Van Dyke. Yeah, I thought the Dick Van Dyke stuff was okay, but I felt like the Bewitched stuff was a little bit off. I don't know. It's just a vibe because I actually watched Bewitched. So,
well, I mean, they're not trying to remake it or go one for one. It's obviously like more homage.
Yeah, but I just want some cursory level decent execution. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure what you mean.
I think it's being executed just fine. I think what's wrong with I think the problem is and it's something John and I were talking about earlier is that that humor has died out for a reason. So yeah, you're executing it, but it's never really going to land the same way it used to land back then. Because
the sensibilities have changed.
So different.
Our tastes have
increased
in ability
evolve.
To
like that whole joke.
Humor.
Right, that whole joke where in the first episode where Wanda hits Vision in the head with a plate, and he's like, "My lady's obsession with flying saucers, like in the old days, that killed you. You had people dying on the floor." When I heard that, I was just like, "Oh, that's cute."
Well, I did see people reacted to like, "Oh, my husband with the indestructible head," and they were just like, "Oh, dude, like Thanos crushed his head. Not indestructible.
It's not."
But yeah, I think you're right. I think that it's our people's humor is different. What we find funny is comedy is more different. You have more Dave Chappelle style. I feel like is more prevalent.
I don't know. I like old school comedy. It's cheesy, but
yeah. Well, not all old school comedy is cheesy. I mean, I absolutely love I'm going to as I say that, I blank on his name. Rodney Dangerfield. I love Rodney Dangerfield stuff, dude. That guy was so. He would literally go from one joke and he would just use and just keep going and like just hitting you with punchline after punchline after punchline, and it's all in that's in the same genre, and it's just
please tell me you saw Back to School, John.
Who hasn't seen Back to School?
Yeah, what the heck? That's the
don't please.
Yeah,
don't
that's
yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Fired.
But yeah, Raquel, it definitely has a lot of. I think you could call them dad. I don't even know if you call them dad jokes, but there are a ton of puns, and then there's the situation.
They're like campy jokes, maybe less dad jokes, but they're very campy. Where you look at them and you're more like, rather than like hey, hello.
Well, there was in the first episode where he says that he feels he gets tongue tied.
Well, there's a lot of
and I'm like, that's my humor right there.
I don't know.
In the first episode,
Dawn, he wasn't talking about cunnilingus. That wasn't what the joke was.
Oh gosh. All right, then now we're ending the show.
The joke was about how he still gets literally I can't find the words to talk to you sometimes.
Father Christopher Miller, where are you?
Miller.
Holy water.
I'm helping. I'm telling Don that it's not dirty.
All right.
But hold on, Drew.
Child screams in the background.
Yeah, she's unattended right now. So, so my I don't totally. What was I going to say now? Oh, in the first episode, there's tons of references to the fact that Vision is a robot. And like lots of puns and like jokes that like haha he's actually a robot but looks like a human so there's a lot of stuff like that so yeah it looks like Vidakovich is says he's a fan of Rodney too, I think is what he's saying.
No, Rodney Dangerfield, straight up.
I'm going for a Donkey Kong record.
But no, I don't know. I kind of like the humor that makes fun of the ridiculousness of like the they them people. I'm waiting for a joke about that.
Oh, you're not going to get that.
What are you talking about? That's not. Yeah, even if it wasn't Marvel, you're not going to get those jokes because it's of the time period stuff.
Yeah,
most people aren't going to make jokes like that.
No. There should be jokes like that.
Yeah, especially if
I'm not saying that
the Full House episode, which is based in San Francisco. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, they're not do that. Don't expect that stuff at all. I actually was surprised. There was kind of an off-color joke that Agnes made about Herb in this one.
Dude, I was
like, whoa. I can't believe they did that. They're going to get canceled.
Her character.
I forget what it was, but yeah, her character is the most interesting. I
like her. Yeah, her character
from Wanda and
her character really grew on me, man. I liked
her from.
I really liked her in the first episode too. Yeah, I thought I kind of like her as like the nosy neighbor. Mm-hmm. She kind of seems what's going on.
Oh, she's over the top, hamming it up, and
she
eats up the screen whenever she's on.
She's kind of
Catherine Hahn is great.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's kind of like that friend that just like just makes the grand entrance when you move into the neighborhood. Like, okay, I'm your first friend, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, right. Like, here I am. We're friends now.
Alexander, I know your tastes now.
Oh, yeah, we have a chat.
I do think this episode. I think this episode has more of a draw to it because you get the stuff at the end. It's like, okay, there's definitely some kind of like conspiracy mystery going on, and you kind of want to figure that out. I do think that's one thing that this episode did a little bit better job of than the other two episodes did.
Yeah, going dark.
Yeah. So you want to come back to see like what's happening here. What's going on? Who are these soldiers? What's gonna? You want to find out what's gonna happen to Geraldine's character. You want to find out like what you want to find out like what like how like insane, like potentially insane Wanda has become. You want to find out more about you want to find more out about like the townsfolk, and who they are. So I do think there's a lot of like interesting threads in this episode that are there, and it all happens in like the end of the episode.
This is a small detail. Did you notice on the faces of the babies, they had these little outlines?
The only thing I noticed was that like one of the baby's eyes was really blue.
Yeah, I noticed that, but like you know how like their faces are kind of a little translucent when they're born or whatever,
because
you can see inside the veins. The veins were kind of like Vision's creases.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. That's cool.
And you could see like a little whatever the freaking
pentagram.
Yeah.
Pentagram, that's the star.
Not the pentagram. The place where you place the Mind Stone.
Right here.
Just the notch on his head.
Yeah.
The widow's peak. You have one.
The Vegeta hair.
Raquel Briggs asks, so what should we do? Disney Plus and Canon is really abridged content for children. I mean, it sounds like there would be something you might be interested in, Raquel. So I would recommend it if that's something that you like. I'm still of the opinion that I wouldn't be watching this if we weren't reviewing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd watch this, Raquel. But trust me, it's not like when we're watching Battlestar ahead of doing a review on Pegasus. Believe me, this is nowhere near that caliber of storytelling.
If I didn't know what I know or what I think I know about what this thing is going to set up, I would probably just binge the last, once it's all over, just binge it and then find out what I needed to find out for what's going forward.
It might be, Don, you bring up a good point because this might be a little too slow of a burn if they're going for that.
I'm almost at the point where like they're literally copying the Mando and like nothing's going to happen until the last 3 episodes.
I don't know. I guess I'm the odd man out. I'm liking it so far. I like this. I always like spooky sort of weird alternate reality manipulation mysteries. So like the end of this episode was great to me. Yeah, it's slow, but I also think you got to give it some time. Like it's slowly just building up everything to break it down. I think it's moving faster than Mando.
Yes, it is. I agree there. I was trying to make a comparison because that show literally has no progression until the last 3 episodes.
If that.
So you want to talk about like spooky sci-fi stuff? You can compare it to Dark, and Dark's far superior show. So would in like the first.
I'm sure I haven't watched Dark. I compare this to things like Twilight Zone, early Constantine, Outer Limits, a little bit of Twin Peaksy stuff thrown in there. So that's what I like. Like I like the reality break stuff.
Even the Constantine stuff though, like. There wasn't like a huge mystery. Like he was fighting a bad guy usually every week.
But there's a bad guy here. We just don't know who it is. And I mean that's what I mean by the Constantine thing is that there's a mystery like surrounded by like magic. Vibe. Yeah, like the horror-y vibe.
Well, put it this
way. They definitely got that. They definitely captured that in this one because I don't feel like there was hints of it like that you could potentially say it's horror, but then at the same time, it's just like, is it horror? Like,
I wouldn't have said before.
It's still lacking those stakes.
I don't know. Like I would have said horror, more like a thriller type moment.
Yeah. Whereas like the moment that like, I think that probably like the most impactful like moment of this episode was when Vision comes back inside and it's like, what happened to Geraldine? And Wanda's like, she went out, she left or something. I forget what she says.
She had to leave really
she had
quick.
To go or had to leave or something. And you had Wanda just like looking stone faced.
Straight ahead.
Put it this way: when I was doing my catching up and I was watching this and The Expanse for the week, I watched The Expanse first.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I will say I have not watched any of season 5 of The Expanse yet. Mainly because of mature content, and being able to get around that.
And there's the fact that again they just keep putting out like one episode a week, and it's killing me because it's like, why didn't you just stick to what was working and put out the binge model as you always did?
We if you were on our live stream on Wednesday, you would have known this. The LA Times is literally writing articles about how streaming services are unhappy with their churn and they want to keep people continually paying for their service every single month instead of binging and then leaving. They don't, apparently, according to the LA Times, they don't like that. They want you subscribing for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, of course they do.
They just want you to subscribe and forget.
Of course they want that, but it's like, I can understand if you want to do like a give and take model with some shows, put a binge model out for one show, put a weekly model out for a different show, that's fine.
No, they're all good. I think, I mean, even Netflix is doing it, but they're doing it with movies. They're having a movie come out every week. So you continually subscribe, you stay subscribed, you don't like watch Stranger Things and then you nope out, because that seems to be what they want you to do. But we're getting off topic. Let's go around the horn and let's wrap it up here and give our score number.
There's one more thing to discuss.
Okay. Yes. And
I want to get Spencer's thing on this. So Paul Bettany talked about in a recent interview with, I guess, like Collider or something. Mm-hmm. He talked about his he was going to be working with somebody he was really looking forward to working with.
Oh, there's also and on top of this, you have a Nerdist article saying that they actually approached Patrick Stewart and he said no to joining the MCU.
Really? Wow.
So I think this ties in with what you're about to say. I think that does.
Okay. So predictions. Who do you think is the one that's going to be working on that show that Paul Bettany has been looking forward to working with his whole career?
His whole career.
So as an actor.
I mean,
as an actor.
So all of that together makes it sound like Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
It has to be. Like, they're both English actors. Ian McKellen is like the Englishy actor of English actors. And I don't think they've ever been in anything. Yeah, he's Gandalf. I don't think they've ever been in anything together. And now that we were like talking about Pietro again, it's time to bring in Magneto. It's time to bring in the parents. It's time to bring in Polaris.
Yeah. Okay, no chance of Fassbender then?
There is a chance of Fassbender.
Yeah.
But so, I just, it's the career thing, the career comment. I think if it's somebody Bettany's been a long time waiting to work with, I think it's McKellen. But I think Fassbender is absolutely still in the running.
Yeah.
Fassbender is being rumored as Dr. Doom as well.
Nice.
So.
Everybody's being rumored as everything. It's weird. It's a weird time.
It's true.
That would be hilarious.
Really
that would be hilarious if Fassbender just did like the jack of all villains and did like Dr. Doom, and then he was also Magneto. It would be great. He'd be like the Swiss Army knife
about what might be coming. No, dude, if you read Don's last article about what might be coming, we could get Chris Evans' Fantastic Four and Chris Evans' Captain America at the same time, baby.
Captain Hydra.
Captain Hydra. Dude, I'd be in to see Captain Hydra. I like the Captain Hydra costume. It's just black and red.
The costume looks good.
Oh, yeah, the entire storyline and everything was awful. But his costume.
Yeah.
I mean, they're totally hinting Hydra a lot. I mean, we got Hydra twice in a row
1,000%.
Yeah,
I'm
Which
guessing.
It's crazy because when was the last time we had Hydra? Hydra died.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Right.
Civil War.
Agents
Winter Soldier. Or no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, they were around for a little bit in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, did I say Civil War? I meant Winter Soldier. But Zemo is Hydra.
Zemo.
Usually, right?
Yeah,
he's not Hydra in the movie, but
usually he is.
In the comics, he's a Hydra leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zemo's on his own.
Baron von Strucker has been obviously referenced, so maybe we've seen him before. He was in
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
We also know that
he was in the Winter Soldier. He was in the mid-credit scene, and then he was in Age of Ultron for like a second.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that there's the Masters of Evil rumor.
Never mind. That's right. Ultron kills him.
We haven't seen Black Widow.
That's right.
And there's supposed to be like a Masters of Evil possibility after Black Widow. Or the other one is what? Not Masters of Thunderbolts. Yeah, with Ross.
Which there are also rumors of for the Black Widow movie. Which,
right. Yeah.
Which will never come out. Like
may never see the light of day. I think.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be on Disney Plus. I mean.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to bite the bullet. They're gonna do the $30 Mulan thing, which I still haven't heard whether or not that, like, them touting whether that was successful or not.
Dude, they didn't even bring it up during.
They never
wasn't
brought it up
during the investor day. They said
successful.
one thing about it and then they just moved on.
Which means people were not willing to pay whatever they're paying for Disney Plus, and then on top of paying $30 for a movie for the most part.
That would come out a month later for free
on that same service.
and you really can't do that anymore because HBO Max was like, free all of our movies for 2021.
Yeah, right. They're yours. No more charging.
Yeah, just pay for our streaming service, $15, which is like paying for a movie ticket. So
YouTube me.
Yeah, well, he didn't create them. Strucker, it was Strucker, right, in Ultron.
Mm-hmm. Who made them?
He experimented on them. They
with
volunteered.
Something
Mind Stone.
with the stone, yeah.
The staff that had the Mind Stone in it.
The scepter version.
Yeah, that Loki had after Ultron, after the first Avengers. They got their hands on.
And then Ultron like murders him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because then he's in the cell and there's like peace or whatever painted on the wall in the blood.
Yeah. So let's we talked about predictions about who this actor is. What else do we think? What are our predictions on the show? What's going on here? Is Wanda the villain? What do we think? Where do we think this ends up?
The rumors.
Don should take those rumors because I actually am starting to believe a lot of the ones that he reported on.
Just what do you think is going on in this show? I guess.
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
Okay, so a source close to Bounding in the Comics shared some information with us about the ending of WandaVision, that Wanda will break reality as we know it. So the small bubble that she is in will expand to all of the MCU. And this will essentially bring in everything that is Marvel related into that universe. So this also opens up the reasoning why we're going to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange. And we're going to get that alternate version of Tom Cruise Iron Man. And we're going to get freaking Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine.
We're getting all the Ghost Riders back together.
And we're getting all the Ghost Riders and the
Quicksilvers
and the Inhumans.
So my biggest question on that is,
and the fan
why do you even need to do that? Because you already have Doctor Strange like going through the multiverse and showing us the multiverse.
Because I bet you what it is Doctor Strange is the responsible one. Yes, the multiverse exists, but we don't go messing around in there because who knows what you could bring back, what you could do, how it could break your mind. Like, what if we went to a different universe and like you and Kate, Georgiana didn't exist yet? Like, you'd be devastated and be like, what's going on? That's so weird.
Oh, so like Captain America.
Yeah. A little bit.
Staying with, like, isn't it already broken after Endgame because Captain America like changes?
But then he goes back
by
in time.
Staying with.
They destroyed everything at the end of the movie. But in reality, so it's like Doctor Strange is the responsible one, but Wanda's just going to go, I don't care, Superboy Prime, shatter everything, and that way everything can be fragmented. And that's what he did. He literally punched reality until it shattered and caused the second crisis.
Oh man,
comic books.
Yeah, you know, I am missing the one appearance that they'll never put in the cinematic universe, and it makes me upset because as a young boy, I read the comics and they were ridiculously good. And Marvel, I don't understand why you have such a problem with Rom Space Knight.
They don't have the rights anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they have the rights anymore.
Rom went to IDW, yeah.
Hasbro is Rom.
Part of the IDW universe now.
Yeah, apparently he's going to show up in the G.I. Joe movie or something like that.
Yeah, in the next one.
There's rumors of them like adapting that super crossover that they did with IDW where like everything is
like
on
a mask
the
and Transformers and
Ron the Space Knight is like the Dr. Pepper of the
mask.
Comic book
are you serious, Spencer?
Dude,
yes,
dude, yeah.
It was called Revolution.
IDW brought Mask back a couple years ago, and now Mask is one of the rumored properties that they're trying to fill because Mikey Sutton reported a couple months ago that that Hasbro now wants a Hasbro universe, so that's why we're getting a Transformers reboot, why they're rebooting Power Rangers, and Mikey
Snake Eyes is a reboot too.
Yeah, Snake Eyes is a reboot of Joe, and then Sutton said that they are planning on starting Mask, and I think Rom, but I know Mask.
Yeah, I've heard Rom too.
If they come rolling with Matt Tracker, they better give him the red Camaro.
Oh hell yeah!
With gull-wing doors,
gull-wing doors, and rocket boosters. Got to get the full package.
So, anything else to add, like on your predictions there, Don, or your rumors?
It's a bonkers prediction.
Yeah.
Even when I heard that, I'm just like, no, that's too much. It just opens up too many.
And we kind of already get a hint of that though in this episode. I mean, you have those lights there. It's possible that place keeps expanding. And maybe that's why they had the guns drawn on Rambeau.
Because things just keep popping out of there.
Right. And it's interesting, like there was like a base camp set up, so that also kind of refutes what I was saying, that it has been expanding, but it's possible like it could.
Right.
They could just be moving it back.
Right.
We have no idea how it works yet. Yeah.
But I would think you would have. Yeah. I mean, and we do know. I mean, they showed up in trucks too, so they are mobile for that.
And they have the helicopter. They're ready to go.
If it's actually SWORD, that's not even a fraction of their forces.
Give me the SWORD satellite, the Justice League satellite.
Give me the freaking what is the base in the space?
What is it?
Their space station called?
It's not like the Sheath. It's the Peak, isn't it? Isn't the Peak?
Yeah, the Peak.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Which literally just looks like a sharp version of the JLA space station.
That's what it is.
I know.
All right. Let's go around the horn. Give us your number rating out of 10. 5 is for us, just for folks who aren't familiar with our rating. 5 is average. 10 is like excellent, no mistakes. 1 is throw it in the trash and burn it.
No, that's pretty accurate. So I would probably give this one probably a 5, probably like a 5+ when you get to the very end. Like, I'm excited to see more of what happens with the fact that the kids shouldn't technically exist, and with what's her name, Monica. But
Rambeau,
not like we've all kind of said, nothing to blow you away, but I'm interested.
Yeah,
I'll go next. I think the promise of the show outweighs the actual product of the show. So yeah, I will go with 5. I'm interested to see what they're going to do. I still feel like we're in like setup stage, and we've been that for the past 3 episodes. So I'm ready for something to happen. So yeah, I think 5 out of 10 as well here.
Yeah,
Done.
5.5. The 0.5 is because of that last kind of weird horror element that they inserted with Wanda. But the rest of the episode, not really funny. No. A lot of the situational humor just didn't land.
So yes, one thing I did want to point out, I actually wanted to I thought Elizabeth Olsen's acting has actually been pretty solid for the most part, but there was one part where she was like she was pregnant and she was like doing, I forget what she was doing. She was it was like right when she was in the room with the stork, and it looked so fake. And maybe that's like on the costuming, but dude, I didn't buy it at all. And
her entire pregnancy bothered me. Her entire pregnancy felt like nobody was trying to act in that scene.
Oh, the delivery part.
Yeah, the delivery. Yeah. The delivery. Yeah, sorry,
and
not
then
the pregnancy.
And they hit it behind like the couch.
Behind the couch.
Stuff,
Yep.
And then like that. It kind of takes you out of the show as well. Like cause she has the first one, and we know as comic book fans that there's a second one.
Second one's coming. Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, here comes another one. She was like, oh, I'm great. One is done. And then like, oh, wait, there's a second one now. It's like, what?
Is that what happens? Anybody who's had twins, let us know if that's what happens.
I don't think so. All right. Don, you said 5.5, right?
Yeah, 5.5.
Drew.
I am right on the same wavelength, man. Me and Don are right there because me having that likeness for horror myself in kind of weirdness, I did like that little beat at the end with the whole sort of like thriller horror-ish aspect to it. That I like that vibe. So I would kind of roll on the same thing. I'm just really sick of nothing happening. I feel like you, bro. Because like I want something to happen already. It's just like hemming and hawing along.
Bust out of the ground and start ushering in his hordes of demons.
Yeah, something like that.
Or the moment.
Yeah, we did. I would have. Yeah, I think just a little bit more. Like, give us something more about the beekeeper guy from the last episode. Yeah. Who's the person with the remote from the stinger scene at the first episode? What is going on? What is Sword? Who are these people?
What are they doing here?
What is going on? Are they actually Hydra in disguise or something like that? I hope we get that next episode because Monica's out of the thing now. So we get like her doing a debrief or something like that. And they kind of like give us some of that exposition that we are wanting.
I hope so.
I think we have to pretty soon because now we're midway.
No, we have 9 episodes. So
yeah, we're getting this next episode
will be midway. Yeah.
Like they teased us with the exposition with the Agnes and the Herb scene, and then we didn't get the payoff.
It's like a J.J. Abrams.
We'll get it. It's coming.
I hope so. We'll see. So what was your score, Drew?
5.5.
5.52. Okay. Dude, I'm telling you, if you guys like the horror thriller vibe, watch Dark. The music itself is creepy. My wife and my sister-in-law both couldn't. They couldn't take the music because the music is like so super creepy, and that it jarred them. But yeah, definitely watch Dark. It's one of the best shows out there. It's on Netflix. All right, thank you all so much for joining us. We do this every Friday at 7 p.m. where we react and discuss WandaVision. We also do this for The Mandalorian, and we'll be doing it for the Book of Boba Fett when that comes out. And we will also be doing this for what is it? Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier when it drops.
Loki.
And Loki. So look forward to that.
And Miss Marvel. No, we won't. Probably not.
Well, yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I don't. If we do a Miss Marvel thing, it might be Spencer doing his reviews like he does Lower Decks. Because
I'll do it.
Spencer takes the hit for that stuff.
I'll take the hit for everybody.
I'll take the hit because I'm the Marvel dude.
That's true. Don and I can hold a Marvel or Miss Marvel cast.
Yeah, so we'll have those.
Although, are we racist enough against white people to get a job at Disney these days?
Yeah, no, because we also got She-Hulk coming down the pike.
I definitely
single female lawyer
for me. All right, yeah. So and then we also have our Wednesday. We also have our
Bounding Live.
We also have our Wednesday night live stream, Bounding Live, on 9 p.m. Eastern time, and we usually go for about 3 hours to midnight Eastern time, where we just kind of talk about the top headlines. We probably should have gone live earlier today just to like talk about how people are just like trying to cancel us, but which they've tried. People have tried before in the past.
Again, every other Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
you can't cancel someone who doesn't want to be canceled. So
yeah, right.
I mean,
even people who get canceled, they're not really canceled. They're still out there. They're still doing their stuff. They're just not on the platforms where you see them all the time.
The milquetoast people that come and try to cancel us though are kind of comical.
Oh, it's hilarious! Like
it's really funny.
I mean, the guy's like, "Oh, you're so scared," and then he's saying he's blocking people. It's like, dude, what? Like,
I've already archived like 900 great examples of all of these people attacking us being dumb.
Yeah. So Spencer just volunteered that he's going to be writing an article now.
Yes, I am.
So look forward to that. Of people trying to cancel us.
Yeah, and
we're gonna. It's called monetizing your haters, and we're gonna.
Yeah, I myself have a good article coming. I do have that BSG promise article that is coming.
I'm looking forward to that one.
I had a rather rough week because I've been a bit under the weather, man. I've had a sinus infection. I had a sinus infection that was kicking my behind all this week. And it was even kind of a struggle doing Pegasus Actual yesterday. But, kind of piggybacking off Pegasus Actual, I want to get into this BSG thing because it was really weird. The context of the interview that I saw with Sam Esmail that you sent me, John. And it's like they're almost saying what we were talking about before. It's almost like they've gone back to the thing. Well, it still is kind of maybe in the Ron Moore universe. So, it's very puzzling. It's they can't figure out if they're...
Sounds like they might have two pitches and they haven't decided which one they're going to use yet. Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't even know anyone who's watching Peacock, or has it.
Well, I watch it to have to do my show every Thursday. I watch it because that's the only place they have
for BSG
on now. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So look forward to that. We got a lot of stuff happening on the website. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Spencer's article. I'm looking forward to Drew's stuff. Don's got some stuff in the works as well. So we are constantly updating the website. The only time I'm not touching the website is on Sundays, but Spencer does sometimes.
I'm around most of the time,
so
we'll be around.
Thank you all for joining us. We will see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Take it easy, everyone.